All right, this is Science Theory Challenge, and I am posting all this stuff. So these people that are denying things, they're going to be posted up here, and the world's going to see exactly what they said. And here I'm going to read to you what happened here. I asked Yale professor Derek Briggs to examine DNA-proven mud fossils. When he refused, which he refused vehemently, I asked for help from every other university, and they all said take them to Yale, which is 15 minutes down the street. And I said he refused. They all laughed at me and they hung up. That was the end of communications from every other person on the planet. And this is the reason, in my opinion, nobody will speak to me. Now, here was Derek Briggs's email to me on 12. Well, I had been after him for years, and this is the final time. And finally, I emailed all of the administration at Yale too, the president and everybody down the line, because I was very, very frustrated, very upset, and I was a very aggressive email. Now he replied with, "Dear Mr. Spur, thank you for your email of today and the attached materials, which I have sent him over and over. My apologies, some of your emails have gone unanswered, all of them. But I know that you have received responses from my colleague Armand Morgan." Yes, I have, and I have talked to Armand, and I like Armand. And I had told him that when this is over, his university and his professor will look foolish. And his response was, "We won't be the only ones." And I said, "Yes, you are right, Armand." Now, continue on with what Professor Briggs had to say. He said, "I have watched the video on your website and considered the results once again," which I doubt he did, but he said he did. "Unfortunately, it remains my view that these are not fossils but rocks that are similar in appearance to various anatomical features. Unfortunately," listen to this now, "unfortunately, human DNA is everywhere." Yes, it is, Professor, and it's in my mud fossils. And any specimen that has been handled will yield gene sequences of bacteria and humans and so forth. Anything off the ground will as well, Professor. But I am not an expert, that's for sure, on human anatomy or vertebrate paleontology or virtually anything. One strategy might be to find a geologist familiar with rocks in your area who could comment on your specimens that obviously he thinks are rocks and has absolutely no clue as to what he's seen. Perhaps there is someone at the Connecticut Geological Survey. I wish you luck with your collecting and research. No, you don't. Sincerely, Derek Briggs, who is the Department of Geology and Geophysics. I am speechless as to what he thinks are rocks. So if you are if you feel this response from a trusted educator who claims to be a scientist is acceptable, you are a serious problem as well. Now, you can go and watch this Triassic human evidence. I have all of this. Now, let me show you the one from, let me see, we have another response from another trusted educator that from Johns Hopkins, who was my, here it is, right here. Okay, I took a genomics course at Johns Hopkins University a couple years ago with Professor Steven Salzberg, who claimed to me in some emails, we corresponded for a little while, to me he was the world's leading expert on ancient DNA. So I let him tell me of all his mammoths and such, and we went back and forth, and so then I sent him my research, and here is his email to me, which took my professor 8 minutes to respond to all my years of research. I compiled dozens of factual pieces, clicked and sent to him, and in 8 minutes it was rejected. Mud fossil research proven in every possible way with DNA and CAT scans and anatomists and chemistry. In my opinion, this is disgraceful of Professor Salzberg, and I know administration down there also is aware of this, as I emailed them as well, because we became quite heated on this. Now, I am not shy. They never responded, and my professor never responded again either. Now, this was on 9/15. Roger, there is no way that you can demonstrate that this sample contained ancient human DNA. Instead, it almost certainly contains modern human DNA, which could come from the people who collected the sample, others who handle the samples, the sequencing lab, or elsewhere. All you've got, I'm afraid to say, is a bit of sequence data from some human, but not an ancient one. If it were ancient, though, the DNA should show consistent signs of DNA damage in the form of C to T mutations. That report didn't indicate anything like that because I took it from the arterial blood, my friend. But it wasn't detailed enough to show this. Also, it is clear they use Sanger engine sequencing, which is very low throughput compared to current methods. Finding ancient DNA in such a sample is very tough. First, you have to prove it wasn't contaminated with modern DNA, which is already hard. Then you have to do this and that. All subterfuge, all ridiculous statements, absolutely irrelevant and meaningless to what I submitted to him, which was factual and physical. No science here whatsoever from this person. Then he goes on, then you'd have to deep sequencing to demonstrate age-related DNA damage. This is a good example of this in some of the papers on my woolly mammoth research. Oh, God, they're all the same. Read his paper. Another fiduciary failure, in my opinion, both of them. Yale and Johns Hopkins, Professor Salzberg, Professor Briggs, Harvard did the same thing to me. They're all of them have failed in their fiduciary duty to act in the interests of the students and teach them the reality that exists, and they have run from that and hidden from that for 5 years. It's been forced on them, and they will not allow it because it points to ancient giant humans which had modern DNA, still giant, still humans, and that's exactly what it says in the ancient texts in the Bible, and that points to God and creation, and that is the rub. They will not allow this. Now go to my other Facebook groups and learn reality, because you're not going to get it in the universities. They will not come around. The only way is fiduciary lawsuits against these failures. They stole your kids' money, and they have defrauded society, in my opinion, and I have the right to say this because this is my opinion, and this is based on fact. I'm not basing this on, these people are nasty, they're stupid, and all this stuff. No. They are, in my opinion, liars, and nothing that they do is for the good of anyone other than themselves. And I'm going to leave it with that. And if you think I'm wrong, good for you.